Chapter 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Inside an incredibly opulent hall, the furnishings screamed wealth and status. Clearly, whoever owned this place was someone important. Young man stood by the window, hands clasped behind his back. He wore a purple robe embroidered with golden silk, a golden dragon weaving across the fabric, seeming to hold the stars themselves. He exuded nobility, his face was handsome, his bearing graceful, his eyes like bright stars. Anyone would think he was incredibly good-looking. Yet, a slight frown creased his brow, a hint of confusion clouding his stellar gaze. Me? Did I just time travel? That the young man was named Qin Ting. In his previous life, he was just a regular guy. His one hobby was reading online fantasy novels, often dreaming of being transported to another world. Now, somehow, he'd woken up in this world. After the initial shock, excitement bloomed within him. He was just an average, orphan Joe in his old life, nothing tying him down. Now he'd been reborn. This was the kind of stuff he dreamed about. Qin Ting closed his eyes, focusing on absorbing the memories of his predecessor. After a moment, he opened his eyes, a spark of excitement in them. It turned out this body was also named Qin Ting, but here was the kicker: he wasn't some poor sap with zero talent, nor a rich family's black sheep. No, this Qin Ting was born into privilege and lived a charmed life. Born into the Qin family, an ancient clan of cultivators, he was now a top disciple of the Shantian sect, one of the holiest cultivation grounds in the eastern wasteland. Blessed with unparalleled talent, he'd reached the divine will realm at the young age of 16, becoming a rising star in the Shantian sect, and to top it all off, he possessed the Zichen divine body, a rare gift that only appeared once in a millennium. The specifics of the Zichen divine body were a bit much to get into. His father, Emperor Qin, was a powerhouse within the Shantian sect, his strength beyond comprehension. His disciples were all top talents from across the land. Qin Ting was practically buzzing with excitement. His starting point in this life was insane. Was he destined to become unbeatable? Suddenly, a ding echoed in his mind. Ding! Villain system activated. Ding! Villain system successfully bound to host. Qin Ting grinned. Everyone knew the system was the ultimate advantage. With a system backing him, what could go wrong? Villain system? Wait, did that mean he was the villain? As if reading his thoughts, the system's robotic voice declared, "The host is the villain of this world. Your primary objective is to defeat the original chosen one, steal his destiny, and earn villain points. This is the path to becoming an invincible villain." Qin Ting couldn't help but smile wryly. So he was the bad guy, huh? Still, there was something appealing about it. Pushing people around, the more they resisted, the more he'd enjoy it. Why did he get the feeling that he was getting into this way too much? Was he actually cut out to be a villain? Qin Ting inquired, "System, what are villain points used for?" That the system replied, "Villain points can be exchanged for rare elixirs, techniques, spiritual plants, and magical weapons within the system. For every 100,000 villain points, you gain a chance at the lottery. As this is your first time binding with the system, you receive one free lottery spin. Do you wish to use it now?" That without hesitation, Qin Ting said, "Use it immediately." A giant roulette wheel appeared in his mind, spinning rapidly before the pointer landed on what appeared to be an elixir. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have won the Wu Yun pill. Looking at the pill in his hand, Qin Ting caught his breath. He'd definitely heard of the Wu Yun pill. It was a legendary realm-breaking elixir, known for allowing users to break through a cultivation level immediately. While other pills could achieve this, the Wu Yun pill was unique in its complete lack of side effects. Extremely difficult to refine and requiring rare ingredients, the Wu Yun pill was rare even within the Shantian sect. Even Qin Ting, as a top disciple, couldn't just get his hands on it whenever he wanted. Just as he was pondering this, the system chimed again. Ding! New mission, know thine enemy. Investigate your opponent, Yi Qiu, to learn his strengths and weaknesses. Mission reward, 5,000 villain points. A mission with a reward of 5,000 villain points. Given the Wu Yun pill would cost 50,000, he had a ways to go. Yi Qiu. Qin Ting carefully searched his memories. Gradually, Yi Qiu surfaced in his mind. Yi Qiu hailed from a small, backwater country within the Shantian sect's territory. 3 months ago, a rare treasure, the five-colored dew, was discovered within a historic site, Shanyu Valley. Qin Ting had led the Shantian sect's delegation to secure it. Qin Ting had encountered Yi Qiu and his group within Shanyu Valley. At the time, Qin Ting had noticed a girl with impressive talent among Yi Qiu's companions and, being a lover of talent, had asked her if she'd like to serve as his maid. She'd agreed, but Yi Qiu had tried to stop her, even attacking Qin Ting. Naturally, Qin Ting hadn't considered such an ant worthy of his attention, and one of his followers had easily defeated him. Yi Qiu had roared with indignation, 30 years on the east side of the river, 30 years on the west. I'll repay this humiliation 100-fold. Now that he thought about it, this Yi Qiu was probably the lucky chosen one in this world, wasn't he? After thinking for a moment, Qin Ting waved his hand, and a man in a black robe suddenly appeared in the hall. He bowed his head respectfully. Greetings, master. Qin Ting knew from his memories that his father, Emperor Qin, had trained a group of death guards for him. All were orphans, trained in a quick-success cultivation method that allowed rapid progress early on, but at the cost of their potential. None of them could hope to reach the Divine Palace realm in their lifetime. These death guards were utterly loyal to Qin Ting and served as his personal force. They handled any dirty work too troublesome for him. This particular man was Niayu, the commander of the death guard, a master of the Shantai realm. Qin Ting ordered, send word to gather all information on Yi Qiu. I want everything from his birth to the present. Niayu seemed to recognize the name. He'd been the one to seriously injure Yi Qiu that day. He offered, Master, now that this person has offended you, should I send someone to eliminate him? Qin Ting said flatly, no need. Just find out his information. Though Niayu didn't understand, he didn't question the command. He simply bowed in agreement and left. As a death guard, his only duty was to obey Qin Ting's orders. His question was merely to ease Qin Ting's concerns. In his eyes, while Yi Qiu might have been skilled enough to withstand one of his attacks, that was all he was worth. Compared to his master, he was like a firefly to the moon. Qin Ting shouldn't waste his energy on such insignificant ants. But since his master had given an order, he would carry it out. After Niayu left, Qin Ting scoffed. What kind of villain would send assassins to kill the hero, giving him experience points? Or have some underling build up the protagonist's rep and then step in to challenge the hero? During the decisive battle, the villain gets the upper hand at first, triggering an overly long monologue, only to get outplayed by the protagonist's trump card and inadvertently creates the hero's legendary rep. Later, the villain's family jumps in to gift the protagonist another power-up that sets him on the path to glory. He wouldn't make such a stupid mistake. Knowing your enemy is half the battle. Strike where it hurts. Qin Ting knew full well that these lucky chosen ones had plot armor. If he couldn't kill him in one shot, things would get harder. He had to be thoroughly prepared to ensure a complete victory. That was the only way he could feel at ease. For now, the first thing Qin Ting had to do was refine the Wu Yun pill and break through to the Divine Platform realm. In the end, strength was what mattered most in this world. Chapter 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In this world, the cultivation path is divided into 9 realms: body forging, spiritual, Yuan Dan, divine will, magical power, divine platform, divine palace, virtual god, and transformed spirit. The divine will realm is a major turning point. Many cultivators get stuck in the Yuandan realm, unable to advance. Within most sects, those who reach the divine will realm can become elders. Some smaller sects have leaders in the magical power realm. Reaching the divine platform realm brings fame, making one a sought-after guest of many powerful organizations. The divine palace realm allows one to become a regional overlord. Beyond the virtual god realm are extremely powerful figures, rarely seen. Qin Ting's father is a virtual god realm powerhouse, known as Emperor Qin, though his real name remains a mystery. Some speculate he's halfway to the transformed spirit realm, but Emperor Qin hasn't acted in a century, leaving his true strength a matter of debate. Qin Ting reached the divine will realm at 18, a testament to his exceptional talent. Combined with his Zichen divine body, there's strong support within the Xiantian sect for him to become a holy son. Breaking through to the magical power realm with the Wuyun pill would silence his secret detractors. Looking at the Wuyun pill in his hand, Qin Ting announced, "Leave me. I'm going into seclusion." A voice immediately responded from outside the hall, "Yes, young master." Qin Ting sat cross-legged on a jade platform and swallowed the pill. Powerful spiritual energy instantly filled his dantian, feeling like a gentle breeze rather than an overwhelming force. Knowing this was the pill's magic, Qin Ting closed his eyes and began to refine the energy. 1 month later, Qin Ting opened his eyes, a look of satisfaction on his face. The Wuyun pill lived up to its reputation. He had successfully refined its spiritual energy and broken through to the magical power realm, his foundation stable. "Excellent," he sighed. The desire for villain points grew stronger. Qin Ting asked mentally, "System, are there other ways to earn villain points besides tasks?" The system replied, "Besides tasks, the system occasionally releases temporary assignments with villain point rewards. Also, if the host's actions are deemed villainous by the system, additional points will be awarded." Qin Ting nodded, satisfied. If he wanted to become stronger, he'd have to embrace his inner villain. "This feels great." He opened the palace doors and stepped outside. A jade palace stood surrounded by lush scenery. The entire structure was built on a mountain range rich in spiritual energy, making it ideal for cultivation. This entire mountain range belonged to Qin Ting. Hundreds of maids, attendants, and guards occupied the palace, responsible for Qin Ting's daily needs. They were descendants of families who had served the Qin family for generations and were completely trustworthy. Niayu stood waiting outside the palace doors. Seeing Qin Ting emerge, Niayu saluted with joy, "Young master." Before Qin Ting could speak, Niayu sensed his cultivation and exclaimed, "Young master, have you broken through to the magical power realm?" A hint of pride flickered across Qin Ting's face as he nodded. Niayu said excitedly, "Young master's talent is unmatched. You're destined for legendary status. The master will be thrilled when he hears." Qin Ting replied, "All right, enough flattery. You're waiting here, so you must have news about Yiqiu." Niayu smiled, "Exactly. We've gathered the information on Yiqiu. Yiqiu was born in Qingqing, a small border town in the Fugua Kingdom, to the Yi family, one of the 4 major families in Qingqing. He displayed remarkable talent at a young age, reaching the body forging realm at 8 and mastering it by 10. But for some unknown reason, his cultivation stagnated between 11 and 16, falling to the 7th stage of body forging. Then, 2 years ago, he exploded back onto the scene, reaching the spiritual realm within a year and helping his family become the most powerful in Qingqing. He then went to the Fu state capital and gained fame. The Qianyuan sect invited him to become a disciple, but he declined. The Qianyuan sect was also a cultivation powerhouse in the eastern wasteland, not quite on par with the Xiantian sect, but still a force. Qin Ting paused, then asked, "How is Lu Susu doing?" Lu Susu, Yiqiu's childhood sweetheart, had been taken in as a maid by Qin Ting in Qinyue Valley. Niayu answered, "Miss Lu is cultivating in the back hall. As you instructed, young master, I've given her the fantasy scroll and Moon Ningdan. Miss Lu's talent is remarkable. She broke through to the Yuandan realm just a few days ago." Niayu hesitated, then added, "Young master, there's one more thing. Song Chang'e has emerged from seclusion." Qin Ting's eyes narrowed. "Oh." Song Chang'e, another Xiantian sect disciple, was a longtime rival. Qin Ting had defeated him in a battle 6 months ago, after which Song Chang'e had announced his retreat, vowing revenge upon his return. Niayu said, "He sent a challenge. I've received the invitation to a duel on the sword-discussing stage in 3 days. But young master, you've already entered the magical power realm. It seems Song Chang'e will be crushed again." Qin Ting smirked. He dares to challenge me fresh out of seclusion. He must have been preparing something. Nyayu lowered his head. Our sources say someone gave him a magical weapon. We're still investigating who. Qin Ting considered this. It seems some people are getting impatient. Nyayu asked, should we prepare? Qin Ting waved his sleeve dismissively. No. I want to see who in the sect dares to oppose me. This will expose them all. I've been too lenient lately. Some people have forgotten what happens when they cross me. Nyayu, impressed by Qin Ting's confidence, bowed his head. I am willing to die for the young master. Chapter 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiantian sect, nestled in the heart of the Eastern Baron, boasts the richest aura concentration in the region, positioning it as a potential leading holy ground. Lately, the typically serene Xiantian sect has been buzzing with anticipation. Hey, did you hear? Song Changde just emerged from seclusion and is set to challenge Qin Ting on the sword debate platform. Seriously? Didn't Qin Ting trounce Song Changde just 6 months ago? Why a rematch? You're missing the big picture. Word is, Song Changde hit a breakthrough, reaching the supernatural realm. Qin Ting still in the divine will stage, a whole different level. This is Song Changde's shot at redemption. Hold on, breaking into the supernatural realm isn't a cakewalk. Song's still relatively young, after all. But hey, both are top-tier disciples, their skills legendary. This showdown is gonna be epic. For sure. We gotta be there. Watching masters like them battle it out will be a huge learning experience. Totally. Absolutely. Despite the external hype, Qin Ting remained unfazed. Song Changde is a formidable opponent with exceptional talent. He wields the heavenly level skills and the secret code of Great Sun reincarnation, showcasing deep cultivation and potent abilities. But Qin Ting didn't see him as his greatest rival within Xiantian sect. Still, he was a true disciple, so Qin Ting couldn't take him lightly. 3 days zipped by, the sword debate platform was packed, with elders even bringing their own disciples to witness the event. Firstly, it's a teaching moment, an eye-opener for the younger generation. These kinds of clashes don't happen every day. And, who knows, maybe the techniques of these two geniuses will spark something within them. Besides the elders, several of the more elusive true disciples also made rare appearances. Everyone was present except Jiang Zhongbai, who was known to always keep to himself. Song Changde is a seasoned true disciple, while Qin Ting is the up-and-coming prodigy. Watching them clash can only benefit the others. Look, Feng and Luo are here. Zhou and Li showed up, too. Seems like all the true disciples are here except Jiang. The crowd erupted. Seeing so many true disciples in one place was a once-in-a-lifetime event. Their presence elevated the private match to a whole new level. Luo, who do you think's got this, Song or Qin? Feng Qianhan, a white-haired figure with a disarming smile that hid eyes as cold as glacial ice, posed the question. Luo Yuan, clad in black and armed with a sword, replied with a smile, both are exceptional, honestly. But the fact that Qin accepted the challenge so readily tells me he's got something up his sleeve. Feng chuckled. I'm betting on Song. Wanna make it interesting? Oh. Luo Yuan raised an eyebrow, a sly grin playing on his lips. What did you have in mind? Feng's gaze locked onto Luo Yuan, his voice measured. If Song wins, you hand over the multicolored glazed flower. The flower was a prized magical herb Luo Yuan had stumbled upon. How Feng knew about it was a mystery. Luo Yuan narrowed his eyes. And if Qin wins, before he could finish, Feng interjected, if Qin wins, I'll give you the small heavenly transformation sword formation. The sword formation was a sought-after treasure, irresistible to a swordsman like Luo Yuan. Luo Yuan laughed. Deal. As the crowd buzzed, the sun suddenly blazed, temporarily blinding onlookers. Then, as quickly as it came, the light receded, revealing Song Changde standing on the platform, dressed in a red-gold robe, the Shantian sect disciple exuded an almost palpable energy. Song Changa practices the Great Sun Reincarnation Sacred Scripture, a technique that resonates with the sun. His arrival caused the otherworldly phenomenon. It's Song. He practices the Great Sun Reincarnation Scripture. It resonated with heaven and earth. It seems that Song has reached the mystical level. Song is a genius, reaching this level of cultivation in less than 30 years. Qin is in trouble. Song Changa beamed, basking in the crowd's awe. Since his defeat by Qin, his reputation had plummeted. Before retreating, he not only begged his master for the Eden, but he even shamelessly asked for a magic weapon. Now he had broken through to the magical realm and wanted to avenge his previous humiliation. Qin Ting, you are talented and possess the Zichen divine body. Today I will trample you under my feet, humiliate you in front of the boss, and destroy your Taoist heart. He didn't care about the consequences. His master was a powerful elder in the sect, and that man also said that he would block the Qin family's revenge for him. Only that person is the most qualified to become the holy son of Shantian sect. Let me kick away this stumbling block. Suddenly, someone yelled, Qin is here. Heads whipped around to see Qin Ting materializing on the horizon. Dressed in a purple robe and wearing a gilded crown, he looked like an immortal descending to earth. He was suddenly close and standing on the sword debate platform. The disciples had splitting headaches and felt extremely uncomfortable. While Qin Ting's arrival lacked Song Changa's grand display, his mastery of space held a deeper, more profound aura. The elders exchanged knowing glances, silently acknowledging the young man's prowess. The true disciples wore serious expressions, a hint of unease in their eyes. Song Changa's display had been impressive, but Qin Ting exuded a sense of veiled power. This Qin is becoming more and more difficult to see through. Chapter 4. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Song Changa eyed Qin Ting, a smirk playing on his lips. Showtime, he thought. But a flicker of unease sparked within him. The earlier display had given him a genuine scare. Still, he was now in his element, boosted by his own magical prowess. Qin Ting, he said, his voice dripping with false camaraderie, that day's battle really opened my eyes. I even had to retreat and seek enlightenment. Turns out, I learned a thing or two. I'm just itching to spar with you again, junior brother. Qin Ting's smile was equally disingenuous. That's great to hear. To be honest, I was worried my last attack might have, broken your spirit, senior brother. Glad to see you're still so gung-ho. Takes a load off my mind. Song Changa's face hardened. Still as mouthy as ever, I see. But talking only gets you so far in a fight. Qin Ting gave him a dismissive look. Seems the lesson I gave you last time didn't quite stick. Good thing I've picked up some new tricks. Maybe you can help me practice them, senior brother. Song Changa's resentment simmered beneath the surface. A sneer twisted his lips as 9 radiant, golden divine wheels materialized between his brows, each humming with potent Taoist energy. Behind him, a blazing sun appeared, its magnificent light a testament to his mastery of the Great Sun Reincarnation Sacred Scripture. A ripple of excitement surged through the crowd. 9 divine wheels. Senior brother Song really has reached the divine will realm. Could he have advanced to the rumored divine power realm as well? Song Changa smirked. I'd advise you to just concede, Qin Ting. Remember, this is only a friendly exchange. If I accidentally injure your foundation, the Shantian sect will lose a promising talent. His words were barbed with malice. Forcing Qin Ting to admit defeat in public would cripple him mentally, potentially halting his progress forever. But if Qin Ting refused, Song Changa would pull no punches, and no one could fault him for it. After all, he had issued a fair warning. Qin Ting simply smiled. Don't trouble yourself with such concerns, senior brother. Just bring it on. That was the invitation Song Changa had been waiting for. He roared, his black hair whipping around him, his eyes burning with inner power. The magic radiating from his 9 divine wills erupted, a terrifying display of force, each Taoist law manifested as a stream of incandescent energy, a torrent of flames threatening to consume heaven and earth. Raised on the great sun reincarnation scripture from childhood, Song Changa's Taoist techniques were saturated with the very essence of the sun. Combined with the solstice energy, the effect was earth-shattering. It looked like the end of the world, no doubt. A true disciple of the Xiantian sect, hand-picked from thousands, was a force to be reckoned with. In terms of strength and skill, Song Changa dwarfed his peers. Song Changa truly lives up to the teachings of Grandmaster Yiri Fengli. His mastery of the Great Sun Flame Seal is impressive. The younger generation surpasses the old, indeed. An elder exclaimed, his eyes gleaming, the surrounding disciples nodded in agreement. Senior Brother Song's Great Sun Flame Seal is incredible. He is a worthy standard-bearer for our Xiantian sect. Feng Qianhan watched Song Changa unleash his spell, his face split by a self-satisfied smile. He couldn't wait to see Qin Ting humiliated, he had always resented the special treatment Qin Ting received. Feng Qianhan had clawed his way to becoming a true disciple. He suffered and fought his way up the ranks, but Qin Ting was handed the title of true disciple simply for possessing a divine body and being a descendant of Emperor Qin. This time, Feng Qianhan would enjoy Qin Ting's public shaming. Looks like those colorful glazed flowers of yours are about to become mine, Senior Brother Luo, Feng Qianhan said, turning to Luo Yuan with a smug grin. Luo Yuan kept his eyes fixed on the platform. The outcome is not yet decided, junior brother. Try to contain your impatience. Feng Qianhan's smile faded. He fell silent. Qin Ting remained motionless as Song Changa's 9 streams of flame surged toward him. At the last moment, he extended a single finger and tapped lightly, poof, star, the 9 streams of flame instantly dissolved, reduced to ash and scattered on the breeze. Song Changa staggered, his eyes wide with disbelief. Then, a crushing blow struck him, sending him staggering back dozens of steps to regain his balance. Feng Qianhan's smug grin vanished, replaced by a look of stunned disbelief, fury and shock warred within Song Changa. Before he could react, Qin Ting unleashed a palm strike from across the distance. The force of the blow seemed to encompass the moon and the setting sun, the lines of the palm coalescing into myriad forms of Taoism, like a tapestry of runes. It descended like a judgment, Song Changa roared, pouring all his energy into his technique. His body blazed like a solar deity as he wove hand seals. A fiery red sword energy shot into the sky, forming a palace of blades. Dozens of phantom figures operated within, unleashing a storm of sword energy that tore through the void like a dragon of fire, unpredictable and deadly. But the moment the sword palace formation met the giant palm of spiritual energy, it shattered, collapsing into nothingness. In a flash, the two exchanged dozens of blows. But while Song Changa was reeling, constantly forced to retreat and coughing up blood, Qin Ting remained calm and composed. The audience watched in stunned silence. The shift from Song Changa's apparent invincibility to his current state of defeat had happened in the blink of an eye. Some of the elders with close ties to the Qin family were greatly relieved. As expected of the son of Emperor Qin. Such power. He is every bit as formidable as a young emperor. On the platform, Song Changa, his clothes torn and hair disheveled, snarled, impressive, junior brother Qin. But this is where it ends. With that, a divine palace materialized at the center of his brow. Another magical power emerged from within, unleashing waves of devastating force, like a world being swallowed by the sea. Song Changa's hair stood on end, his eyes burning like embers as he transformed into an ancient demon. The magical power coalesced into a magic sword, pulsing with an energy far exceeding any of Song Changa's previous Taoist techniques. Qin Ting's giant palm was instantly shattered, dissolving into spiritual energy. Supernatural power. It's supernatural power. Song Changa has truly reached the divine power realm. Oh my God! A master of magical powers who is less than 40 years old. The audience erupted in frenzy. Though rumors of Song Changa's advancement had been circulating, seeing it with their own eyes was a staggering shock. A powerful master of magic at such a young age was a genius beyond compare. Countless monks spent their lives stuck in the divine wheel, unable to advance. Many remained there even after reaching the age of 100 or 200. Chapter 5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Magic power is a rare ability, only those who've surpassed the limitations of ordinary magic can wield it. It's on a whole other level compared to regular Taoist techniques. Song Changa unleashed the Sky Sword, one of Yiri Peak's signature magical powers, known for its mystical and unpredictable nature. Even though Qin Ting had been dominating the fight, the moment Song Changa revealed his magic, opinions shifted. While Qin Ting is undeniably a genius with incredible fighting skills, there are limits to overcoming power differences. Magic power is a real game-changer. Reaching that level marks a qualitative leap. There's even a saying that those without it are just ants compared to those who have it. Song Changa focused his mind and reactivated the Sky Sword. The magical sword transformed into 49 blades of energy, each incredibly sharp and powerful enough to level mountains. Rushing toward Qin Ting from all sides, Qin Ting formed a hand seal, and walls of ice materialized in front of him. But the magic sword shattered them instantly, barely slowing down. With a shout, a divine will appeared between Qin Ting's eyebrows, transforming into a 9-story pagoda. As the pagoda enveloped Qin Ting, the heavenly vault magic sword struck it. The pagoda's power exploded outward. With a resounding crash, the heavenly vault magic sword was actually stopped. Although the pagoda itself shattered into pieces and vanished, the audience was stunned. One disciple whispered, "Incredible. Qin is unbelievably strong." Song Changa's face darkened. He hadn't expected that even his magic power wouldn't be enough to crush Qin Ting. Hearing the crowd's excited chatter, he felt trapped. Backing down now would destroy his reputation in the sect. "You forced me into this," he raged inwardly. He glared at Qin Ting, and a formation diagram appeared on his forehead. Unfurling, the diagram depicted vast landscapes, the sun and moon in their cycles. Qin Ting was instantly pulled into the formation, as if transported to another dimension. Song Changa activated the formation. Within it, the sky crumbled, the earth shattered, the sun and moon blinked out. Everything seemed doomed to disappear. An elder suddenly stood up, exclaiming, "A magic weapon." A magic weapon is an extremely powerful artifact. You can't activate one unless you're at the magic power level, and they're incredibly rare. Not just in the magic power realm, but even powerful figures in the divine platform and shrine realms might not possess one. Even Song Changa's master, Li Jinren, only had a couple of magic weapons, and not one like this. Several of the true disciples also stood, their expressions grave, exchanging knowing glances. No one knew where this magic weapon had come from, but these true disciples had an idea. Logically, Qin Ting appeared to be in mortal danger, and the fight should have been stopped. But the law enforcement elder near the dueling platform simply watched on without intervening. "So, it's you, senior brother Jiang." Though trapped in the formation, seemingly at death's door, Qin Ting showed no fear. He looked around with a smile. Lowering his head, he chuckled softly, "I've been playing along with Song Changa, a loser, for this long just to smoke you out." This was Jiang Zhongbai, the top disciple of the Shantian sect. He'd joined the sect less than a century ago and already reached the Shantan realm, an unparalleled talent. He was practically guaranteed to become the designated Holy Son, until Qin Ting came along and stole the spotlight. Jiang had kept a low profile, avoiding conflict, and hadn't even bothered to attend the ceremony, claiming he was in seclusion. But he'd been waiting for Song Changa's magical power breakthrough to use him to suppress Qin Ting. Qin Ting's eyes turned cold. Now that he knew who was pulling the strings, Song Changa was irrelevant. With a wave of his hand, the ground within the formation trembled, as if time itself had stopped. With another casual gesture, he ripped the world of the formation apart. Qin Ting casually strolled out of the shattered array. Deprived of its power, the array reverted to a pattern, which Qin Ting caught and began to toy with. "Impossible." Song Changa's eyes went wide. He'd played all his cards, even risking exposing his connection with Jiang by using the magic weapon. How could Qin Ting break it so easily? The audience was equally stunned. A magic weapon, capable of reshaping the world, destroyed by Qin Ting just like that? Feng Qianhan's face was grim, unable to fathom Qin Ting's actions. Even more shocking was that all the Taoist techniques Qin Ting had used so far were common within the Xiantian sect, yet he wielded them with astonishing power. It suggested Qin Ting had completely mastered these techniques, displaying the mark of a true master. Suddenly, a thought struck Feng Qianhan. He turned to Luo Yuan and saw a similar look of realization on his face. They exchanged a look of disbelief. Could it be that Qin Ting already? Qin Ting smiled at Song Chang'e, saying, "Is that all you've got, senior brother?" But with that, Qin Ting's aura exploded, and stars seemed to shimmer around him. The audience couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. The younger disciples gazed at him with admiration. Song Chang'e, sensing Qin Ting's power, paled. He knew he was in trouble. Then, realization dawned on him, replaced first by surprise, then disbelief. "You've reached the magic power realm. How is this possible?" "This is impossible," the crowd erupted. Still reeling from the destruction of the magic weapon, they were hit with another bombshell. Qin Ting, at just 18 years old, had reached the magic power realm. One disciple stammered, "Magic, the magic power realm? Really? 18 years old?" The other disciples looked to the elders, whose solemn, disbelieving faces confirmed it. Qin Ting, a true disciple of the Xiantian sect, had achieved the magic power realm at 18. After the initial shock, the elders recalled a terrifying fact. Throughout history, Qin Ting was the only person in the eastern wasteland to have reached the magic power realm before the age of 20. Even Qin Ting's father, Emperor Qin, hadn't achieved it until he was 20. The elders took a deep breath, then beamed with joy. With such an extraordinary genius, our Xiantian sect is destined for greatness. A hush fell over the audience, everyone awestruck. Feng Qianhan and the other true disciples were also stunned. They no longer cared about Song Chang'e's chemically enhanced magic power, but Qin Ting's demonstrated profound mastery of Taoist methods had a solid foundation. Luo Yuan exhaled slowly and sighed, "Junior brother Qin Ting, you're incredible." Chapter 6. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Ting's expression remained cool, his eyes like those of a god or a demon, completely detached. He raised his right hand, and instantly the entire sky transformed into night, a crescent moon gracefully ascending, both majestic and ethereal. He reached towards the moon, and a spectral arm materialized in the sky. Everyone gasped, seeing a vast, jade-white hand rising to grasp the crescent. It was a breathtaking sight. The hand stretched for miles, directly encompassing the moon, cradling it as if gently drawing it into its embrace. A chorus of voices erupted from the crowd, "The hand of the moon. Incredible power. Qin Ting is a true master." As the hand held it, the moon seemed to descend faster and faster. Song Chang'e watched it looming larger and larger above him, his fear mounting to paralyzing levels. He couldn't muster a single ounce of courage. He gritted his teeth, ready to concede. It would be humiliating, and his standing in the sect would be ruined. Even his master might abandon him. But at least he'd live. Finally, he forced himself to speak, "I give." But Qin Ting's eyes narrowed, a sneer playing on his lips. Too late, he unleashed a torrent of power, and the air in the arena seemed to solidify. Song Chang'e found himself unable to utter another word, frozen in place. He watched the moon swell above him, despair and regret washing over him. Why did I ever challenge Qin Ting? Other disciples had backed down when facing Qin Ting's rising power. Even the formidable Jiang backed away, and even Feng Qianhan wouldn't speak against him. What was he thinking? Suddenly, Elder Zhang, the law enforcement elder who had been silently observing, bellowed, "Enough. Song Chang'e yields. Let it end." Qin Ting only sneered. When he'd been struggling, trapped in the formation earlier, Elder Zhang hadn't said a word. Now, when Song Changa was about to be crushed, now he wanted to play peacemaker. Not a chance. He didn't just halt the moon's descent, he accelerated it. Elder Zhang was shocked that Qin Ting would ignore his order and press the attack. He felt a surge of resentment. He'd favored Jiang Zhongbai and tried to help Song Changa. But Song Changa had proven to be a complete disappointment, losing despite his advantages. And Qin Ting, he was a monster, reaching such power at 18. Seeing the moon plummeting, Elder Zhang knew he had to act or Song Changa would die. He roared, "This is outrageous. Do you dare kill a fellow disciple in plain sight?" With that, Elder Zhang raised his hands, summoning a pair of enormous hands to block the moon, but to his horror, the moon only paused briefly. Then, the hands began to fracture, dissolving into runes and fading away. The crowd gasped in disbelief. Elder Zhang, despite his experience and power, couldn't stop Qin Ting. The disciples watched Qin Ting with awe, their respect bordering on reverence. And the female disciples? Their eyes shone with admiration. Qin Ting was powerful and arrogant. What wasn't there to love? The moon was almost upon Song Changa, but the brief pause caused by Elder Zhang had allowed him to gather some courage. Desperately, he channeled his energy, creating a phalan above him to shield him, but the instant it touched the moon, the phalan disintegrated. Song Changa was swallowed by the descending moon, and the entire arena floor imploded, leaving a massive crater. The arena was constructed from extremely hard heavenly black stone. The fact that Qin Ting's attack had pulverized it showed the unbelievable force of his power. As the breeze stirred, the spectral moon slowly vanished. Song Changa lay in the crater, half dead. Qin Ting glanced at him, his expression indifferent. Though he hadn't killed him outright, Song Changa was broken. He would never improve his cultivation again. If he was lucky, he'd be a cripple. Elder Zhang's face was a mask of fury. He couldn't believe he had failed to protect Song Changa, even after intervening personally. He glared at Qin Ting, his voice low and menacing. "Qin Ting. This is an outrage. You dare to severely injure a disciple in front of everyone. You're coming with me to the law enforcement court for judgment." Qin Ting smiled thinly. "Elder Zhang, I think you're mistaken. Song Changa issued a challenge to me. The terms clearly stated that each side would be responsible for the consequences, be it life or death. I'm sure the Xiantian sect is aware of this. Song Changa lost. As for taking me to the law enforcement court." Qin Ting's tone turned icy. "Are you worthy?" Chapter 7. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Elder Zhang's face twisted. He couldn't believe Qin Ting was blowing off his position as a law enforcement elder. Having power had always made Elder Zhang a total jerk. Disciples wouldn't dare breathe a word against him, and even some outer sect elders would just take it. Now, seeing him get taken down a peg, a lot of people were secretly loving it. Hearing the snickers around him, Elder Zhang seethed. He knew Qin Ting was a big deal. His father, Emperor Qin, was a force to be reckoned with in the Void God realm, a major player in the Xiantian sect. Plus, Qin Ting himself was a prodigy, reaching the magical realm at 18. Everyone figured he was a shoo-in for Holy Sun. But once you're in the running for Holy Sun, there's no turning back. Look at Song Changa, a total loser now. Sure, they said he lost a battle, but really, it's because he got mixed up in this Holy Sun crap. Now that we're on this path, there's no going back. Otherwise, when Qin Ting gets the Holy Sun gig, what do you think is going to happen to us? We have to use this chance to drag Qin Ting back to the law enforcement court and slap him with some bogus charges, or we're cooked when Emperor Qin gets out of confinement." Elder Zhang gritted his teeth, seriously hurting a fellow disciple. "That's a crime against humanity. Qin Ting, you're coming with me." Before he could finish, he threw a palm strike at Qin Ting. His palm transformed into a massive, godlike hand, bristling with Taoist runes that practically tore the air around Qin Ting apart. He figured Qin Ting had only just entered the magical realm. He couldn't be that skilled yet. Sure, He hadn't been able to block Qin Ting's magic earlier, but that was because he'd underestimated him and just thrown a casual punch. This time, going all out, grabbing Qin Ting should be a piece of cake, right? Qin Ting watched Elder Zhang's move and smirked. This guy had been gunning for him for a while, and it was pretty obvious he'd thrown in his lot with senior brother Jiang Zhong by Jiang. Fine. He'd already crippled one true disciple, he wouldn't mind putting a law enforcement elder out of commission too. Qin Ting's face didn't change. A hint of sarcasm flickered in his eyes, and he stepped forward, his aura suddenly exploding in power. He reached out, grabbed the air, and unleashed a burst of thunder. His punch slammed forward, tearing through the air, causing it to explode. Lightning crackled, a terrifying display of divine punishment. This punch was like a tidal wave. Elder Zhang's giant hand spell crumbled on impact, dissolving into nothing. But the force of Qin Ting's punch didn't let up, slamming right into Elder Zhang. Elder Zhang's face went white. He felt an immense pressure, this punch could shatter him. How is this possible? I'm a powerhouse in the late stage of magical power, Elder Zhang roared inwardly, his entire body radiating power. Countless patterns swirled around him, forming a massive, green glowing cauldron to protect him. An elder in the crowd gasped, the Hunyuan cauldron. That's Elder Zhang's ultimate defense. That the Hunyuan cauldron was an incredibly strong defensive spell, the move Elder Zhang was famous for. It had gotten him out of countless jams, and Qin Ting had forced him to use it. The punch slammed into the cauldron with a deafening bang. The huge cauldron instantly shattered into pieces, dissolving back into Dao patterns and vanishing into the air. Elder Zhang felt an unimaginable force slam into him. He coughed up blood and went flying, crashing into the ground with a sickening thud. Flesh and blood exploded outwards, turning into a bloody mist. Elder Zhang stared at Qin Ting, disbelief in his eyes. He hadn't even been able to land a single blow. He wasn't the only one. Everyone in the audience was stunned. Qin Ting had shocked them too many times already today. First, he'd completely crushed Song Chang'e, then he'd revealed his magical powers, and now he'd seriously injured the law enforcement elder, Elder Zhang. Keep in mind, Elder Zhang had been in the magical powers realm for almost 100 years, his cultivation was incredibly strong. Even powerful cultivators who had just broken through to the Shentai realm wouldn't last long against him. And yet, Qin Ting had taken him down without breaking a sweat. They knew Qin Ting was a once-in-a-generation genius, the top of the Shantian sect's younger generation. But they still hadn't expected him to be such a monster, so far beyond their comprehension. Looking at the crumpled Elder Zhang on the ground, everyone felt like they were in a dream. Some of the older elders were racking their brains, thinking back. Even Emperor Qin wasn't this powerful back in the day, was he? One elder muttered to himself, who could possibly compete with someone like that in 100 years? Chapter 8. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After Qin Ting laid Elder Zhang out flat with one shot, he didn't press the attack. I mean, the dude was a sect elder, plus he was in charge of law enforcement. To ice him would be way too disrespectful to the whole organization. Qin Ting wasn't sweating the consequences exactly, but it would be a major hassle. Besides, Elder Zhang's insides were scrambled by his divine thunder move. Forget about getting his powers back, the old geezer would be lucky not to get demoted. Honestly. Who's more important, an elder who's past his prime, or an 18-year-old with supernatural powers? No brainer. Elder Zhang's days as head of law enforcement were probably numbered after this beatdown. And when you're no longer in that kind of position, especially a loser who's made a ton of enemies? Well, let's just say things can get interesting real fast. People would probably line up to get on Qin Ting's good side by making Elder Zhang's life miserable. Elder Zhang knew all this too. He was lying on the ground, white as a sheet. Some disciples hauled him and unconscious Song Chang'e off to the Alchemy Academy for some medical attention. They didn't say a single word, like they were already dead. Nobody felt sorry for Elder Zhang, seeing him all messed up. Everyone knew what he was up to, trying to mess with Qin Ting. He got what he deserved. Some of the elders and disciples who'd been bullied by Elder Zhang were already cooking up revenge plots. Suddenly, Qin Ting heard a ding in his head. It was the system, cold and emotionless as always. Detected, host's actions include harming fellow disciples and seriously injuring a senior elder. Consistent with the villainous behavior profile. Rewarding 25,000 villain points. Qin Ting was stoked. He didn't see that coming. Sure, he had reasons for roughing up Song Chang'e and Elder Zhang, but the system just saw it as flat-out villainy. Time to play this angle for all it's worth. While Qin Ting was lost in thought, the crowd started swarming him, giving him props. The disciples were genuinely impressed. Some even declared him the Holy Son. It had to be Qin Ting. Even the elders who normally kept to themselves were all smiles, showering Qin Ting with praise and buttering him up. Basically, they were saying they were loyal to the Shantian sect, and in the future, Qin Ting would be the one calling the shots. Qin Ting was all smiles too, playing the charm offensive. Everyone was eating it up, and some disciples were practically losing their minds over him. Then the true disciples showed up. The other disciples bowed and made a quick exit. Luo Yuan grinned and said, "Junior brother Qin, that was awesome. I'm officially a fan." Feng Qianhan smiled, but it looked a little forced. Feng Qianhan was seething inside. He didn't realize Song Chang'e was such a chump, or that Elder Zhang would be a complete pushover for Qin Ting. He hadn't exactly thrown in with Jiang Zhongbai, but he was all for anything that messed with Qin Ting. Plus, he'd lost a rare treasure, the small heavenly sword formation, to Luo Yuan. It was like throwing money down the drain. Another true disciple, Zhou Pingyue, chimed in. Of course senior brother Luo's impressed. He just beat senior brother Feng's small heavenly sword formation. Oh. Qin Ting said, turning to Feng Qianhan. Feng Qianhan faked a smile and said, "It's just a little something. I'm happy for my junior brother." He was already regretting Zhou Pingyue running his mouth. Qin Ting said with a smile, "Senior brother Feng used the small heaven sword formation. I wonder what kind of bonus senior brother Luo had." Luo Yuan smiled slightly and said, "It's an elixir I stumbled upon in a secret realm, the colorful glazed flower." Qin Ting was a little surprised. The colorful glazed flower was pretty valuable and was worth more than the Shaotian sword formation. Zhou Pingyue butted in again, "Senior brother Feng's been eyeing it for a while. Getting the colorful glazed flower probably means senior brother Feng's close to breaking through to the Shantai realm." Feng Qianhan shot Su Pingyue a death glare. "You're making my life miserable today, but I'll get you back for this." Qin Ting's eyes narrowed, and he suddenly smiled and said, "It seems that senior brother Feng is very interested in senior brother Luo. Many people at Hidden Sword Peak have a good relationship with senior brother Feng, which is really enviable to others." Luo Yuan smiled for a moment, as if he was thoughtful, and took a deep look at Feng Qianhan. Then he smiled and said, "Junior brother Qin is joking." Qin Ting smiled slightly and said nothing about this matter. After this incident, senior brother Luo was probably going to cut ties with Feng Qianhan. Feng Qianhan's face dropped, and he forced a smile and said, "I've got something else to do, so I'm heading out." Then he walked away. Just then, Qin Ting heard the system chime in, "Ding. Detected, host is stirring up trouble between fellow disciples. Consistent with villainous behavior. Rewarding 5,000 villain points." Qin Ting thought, called it, that the system didn't care about Qin Ting's motives. As long as it looked like he was being a villain, he got points. Looks like I'm on the express lane to Evilville, Qin Ting thought to himself. At this time, another true disciple, Li Juning, who had been silent until now, said softly, "What was junior brother Qin's last move? I haven't seen anything like it before, and it doesn't seem to be a Shantian sect technique." Qin Ting grinned and said, "It's just some basic move I made up, nothing special. If senior sister doesn't mind, I'd be happy to demonstrate it at senior sister's Linglong Pavilion." Li Juning nodded slightly and said, "Thank you, junior brother." Chapter 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After shooting the breeze with everyone, Qin Ting set up a time to meet again and then split, turning into a streak of light as he jetted toward his personal mountain. As soon as he touched down, Niayu, who'd been waiting impatiently, rushed forward, grinning from ear to ear and bowing low. Master, your power is unmatched. You've shaken Xiantian to its core. The guards and maids surrounding them hit their knees too, chanting, Master, your power is unmatched. You've shaken Xiantian to its core. Qin Ting chuckled. Just squashed a couple of ants. But I did manage to dig up who was pulling their strings. Niayu's eyes narrowed. You mean, Qin Ting nodded. Yep. Niayu's voice turned icy. I thought that Snake had finally given up and was playing nice. Guess he's still stirring the pot. Qin Ting grinned. Huh, you think a former golden boy like that is just gonna sit back and watch someone else steal his thunder? Don't sweat it. Now that he's made his move, things just got a whole lot easier. Niayu nodded, completely agreeing. If his boss wasn't worried, neither was he. His faith in Qin Ting was bordering on religious. Niayu composed himself. One more thing, sir. Yi Qiu's back in the picture. Qin Ting raised an eyebrow. Oh, over at Xiantian's sect, nestled on some forgotten peak, a dude in white was sprawled on a wicker chair, eyes closed, soaking up the sun outside a humble little shack. His face was plain, but he had a certain something about him, a real chill vibe. If anyone else saw him, they'd never believe this was Jiang Zhongbai, Xiantian's sect's top senior disciple. Jiang Zhongbai was barely past 40, still a young buck in the long game of cultivation. Already, he was a heavy hitter in the divine platform realm. And not only did he level up fast, but he also had this crazy ability to master all sorts of Taoist arts, spells, and powers in no time flat. One of Xiantian's sect's elders once whispered that he had all the makings of a natural leader, the kind everyone was betting on to be the next holy son. Too bad Qin Ting came blazing onto the scene. He hit the divine will at 16, and by 18, he was already at the top of his game. He completely stole Jiang Zhongbai's spotlight. Jiang Zhongbai wisely decided to stay out of his way. Nowadays, the newbies joining Xiantian's sect barely even knew Jiang was around, it was all Qin, all the time. Jiang Zhongbai's expression flickered. He held out his hand, and a jade talisman appeared. He glanced at it, reading the message that flashed across its surface. Qin Ting breaks through to divine power realm, Song Chang'e is ousted, and Elder Zhang is badly hurt with a single blow. Jiang Zhongbai read the message, his face darkening slightly. He felt a twinge of anxiety. The magic weapon he'd lent Song Chang'e didn't just fail to hold Qin Ting back, it had also prematurely revealed his hand, and Qin Ting's crazy fast progress was starting to freak him out. 16 to divine will, 18 to divine power. It was almost unbelievable, and it made the shadow of doubt in his heart grow larger. Sure, Qin Ting was a prodigy, but Jiang Zhongbai was still confident he could go toe-to-toe with him. The real scary part was the power behind Qin Ting, his father, the head honcho of the Qin clan, Emperor Qin. This guy wasn't just some run-of-the-mill powerhouse, he was one of the top dogs in the whole eastern wilderness, a master strategist and manipulator. Lately, more and more elders in the sect were secretly cozying up to the Qin family. Xiantian's sect was practically half Qin already. And Jiang Zhongbai? When his mentor, Xian Dao Venerable, was alive, he could go head-to-head with the Qin family. Xian Dao Venerable was a virtual god powerhouse with a ton of disciples and loyal followers throughout Xiantian's sect. But ever since his mentor kicked the bucket trying to protect him during his Holy Sun ascension, the power he could wield had been shrinking. His mentor's legacy was dwindling fast, like this time, when he called in a favor from Elder Zhang, a high-ranking member of the Law Enforcement Division. The heads of the Law Enforcement Division turned a blind eye, but Jiang Zhongbai knew that after this mess, the Law Enforcement Division would go back to being neutral. As far as they were concerned, the debt they owed Xian Dao Venerable's lineage was paid in full. Wouldn't be long before a poor sucker like Elder Zhang got booted out of the Law Enforcement Division, right? Jiang Zhongbai sighed and muttered to himself, looks like I need to start getting ready. Chapter 10. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Word got out about some weird stuff happening in the sky above the Lianyan Mountains a few days back. Folks figured some kind of treasure was popping up, so every sect and their mother sent disciples scrambling. Our guys spotted Yi Qiu kicking around up there. Like you told us, we played it cool and got the message back ASAP. Qin Ting nodded. Sounds like this treasure's packing some serious power. He wasn't surprised the different sects were racing to grab it. These treasures, whether they were weapons or elixirs, were a huge deal for everyone, even a big shot like the Xiantian sect couldn't ignore it. Sending out disciples wasn't just about grabbing treasure, it was also a good way to toughen them up. Niayu hesitated, then added, seems like Yi Qiu is traveling with Mu Qingyi, the Qianyuan sect leader's daughter. Qin Ting's eyes narrowed. Mu Qingyi was Mu Fang's only daughter. She was a prodigy, hitting the Divine Will stage at 17, and basically the golden girl of the Qianyuan sect. She wasn't just famous for her skills, she was every guy's dream girl in the eastern wasteland. Gorgeous as all get out, people called her Fairy Mu. Qin Ting chuckled to himself. The guy's got insane luck. If he remembered right, Yi Qiu had publicly turned down the Qianyuan sect before, practically slapping them in the face. Anyone else would have been toast, but not Yi Qiu. He somehow managed to snag the head honcho's daughter. Even Qin Ting had to admit, he was a little jealous of that kind of luck. But Qin Ting wanted Yi Qiu's luck even more. If he could steal it, with the system and the luck, who could even touch him? Qin Ting thought for a second, deciding to head to the Lianyan Mountains himself. This son of luck stuff was too crazy to leave to anyone else. Song Chang'e and Feng Qianhan. Ants. Jiang Zhongbai. A minor annoyance. He wasn't worried about them, but Yi Qiu was different. He knew all about these chosen one stories from his past life and how powerful they were. The guy could wiggle out of any jam. Have we sent anyone? Qin Ting asked. Niayu answered, the disciples are picked, but we haven't picked a leader yet. Most of the real top guys are tied up. Song Chang'e was supposed to lead, but... Niayu smiled, well, you kicked him to the curb, so that's out. Qin Ting nodded. Usually, these sudden appearances were handled by young disciples out practicing, with a talented big shot leading the pack to keep things safe, but the Xiantian sect's best were busy, and Song Chang'e was out of commission. The elders could lead, and they could guarantee safety, but it wouldn't look as good, and might cause others to look down on them. Qin Ting made up his mind, tell the sect I'm heading to the Lianyan Mountains myself. Niayu bowed, yes, sir. After Niayu left, Qin Ting pulled up the system, wanting to get ready for his little meeting with Yi Qiu. A panel popped up showing his villain points. He'd gotten 5,000 for Yi Qiu's investigation, 25,000 for beating Song Chang'e and Elder Zhang, and 5,000 for stirring up trouble between Luo Yuan and Feng Qianhan. That put him at 35,000. What can I get with that? Qin Ting checked out the system's store. Longquan sword, top-grade spiritual weapon. Required, 29,000 points. No. A high-grade spiritual weapon is okay, but with Qin Ting now in the magical power realm, it's not gonna cut it. Good as a reward for my followers though. Black armor and golden clothes, defensive spiritual weapon, absorbs a full-on attack from a divine palace realm powerhouse. Qin Ting's eyes widened. Now we're talking. A real lifesaver. The purple star robe I'm wearing is nice, but nothing like this black armor. Required, 240,000 points. Qin Ting deflated. Too rich for my blood. Qin Ting was silent. My bad, I'm not that bad. Concentrating pill, calms the mind and soothes the soul. Required, 6,000 points. Pass. Fire cloud fruit, boosts fire power. Required, 15,000 points. Not for me. Qin Ting scrolled around, frustrated. His points were in this awkward zone. Not enough for the cool stuff, and he didn't want the stuff he could afford. Then, he saw it. Random Spirit Beast Egg, hatches into a Spirit Beast. Required, 30,000 points. Random Spirit Beast Eggs? Qin Ting thought about it. Definitely, that if a super powerful Spirit Beast popped out, Qin Ting would be golden. Even if he got trash, 30,000 villain points wasn't the end of the world.